call the roll.
Thank you, Chairman Cox. Before I call the roll, I would like to note for the record that all 5 supervisors are participating via teleconference. As such, all votes will be handled by a roll call vote. Additionally, before we begin, any members of the public that wish to provide oral testimony during today's meeting, please review the instructions posted on the Clerk of the Board's webpage. I'll remind members of the public that have requested to speak to wait to dial into the meeting until the item is called. With that, I'll now call the roll. Supervisor Jacob?
Here.
Supervisor Gaspar?
Present.
Supervisor Fletcher?
Here.
Vice Chairman Desmond?
Here.
Chairman Cox?
Here. The next item on our agenda is a closed session report. I don't believe we have anything to report out of closed session, but let me ask the County Council if they have anything they want to share.
Yes, Chairman Cox. For the record, the Board of Supervisors met in closed session starting at 5:18 p.m. and adjourning at 5:40 p.m. All board members were present. There are no reportable actions.
Very good. We'll move on to public communication. My understanding is we have 3 public communications, and I'll ask the clerk to go ahead and read those at this time.
Thank you, Chairman Cox. The first non-agenda comment is from Kathleen Lippett. It reads, tobacco products are justifiably maligned for targeting youth, causing disease, heart, cancer, lung, as well as causing environmental damage. Marijuana products deserve to be treated similarly. Marijuana retailers also target youth with child-friendly flavors and cause environmental damage with the discarded devices. Please include flavored marijuana products along with your flavored tobacco products for the same reasons. The next comment is from R. Vesterfelt. It reads, not in support of Desmond proposal to not follow state's COVID tier system. Stay with scientists working with state on management of COVID. Desmond plan impacts safety and lives of all entering county. The last comment is from Jennifer Dunaway. It reads, did you not see the 500 comments yesterday wanting all of you to support Desmond's proposal? The 90 people on hold wanting to voice support for it? Open San Diego businesses and don't penalize them. You heard from the public via comments yesterday, yet do nothing. It has been over 6 months. People cannot survive and yet do nothing. Look at other states' opening plans. They are based on scientific metrics. Californians are based on nothing. Prove it. Do the right thing for the people. That concludes non-agenda public communication this morning, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much, Andrew. We'll move on now to the approval of the statement of the proceedings and minutes for the regular meeting of August 5th, 2020. Is there a motion for approval?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Supervisor Jacob, seconded by our Vice Chair, Jim Desmond, to approve the minutes. If there's no discussion, would the clerk please call the roll?
Thank you, Chairman Cox.
Aye.
Supervisor Jacob.
Aye.
Supervisor Gaspar.
Aye.
Supervisor Fletcher.
Aye.
Vice Chairman Desmond.
Aye.
Chairman Cox, that motion passes unanimously with all board members being present and voting aye.
The next item on the agenda is the formation of the consent calendar. All items on the agenda will be considered to be routine and will be acted upon by one motion, unless there's a desire on the part of the public or members of the Board of Supervisors to pull item for further discussion. Would the clerk please identify any items that have been pulled by the public?
Mr. Chairman, there are no items that have been requested by the public to be pulled for discussion this morning. Therefore, all items on the Board of Supervisors agenda may be placed in the consent calendar for your board's consideration. I'll make a note for item number 6. To be consistent with the explanation in the environmental statement section of the board letter, there's a request to revise the first action to read, find that the third amendment to the joint agreement to improve subdivision, which is attachment 6, and associated actions for county track number 4736-1 is exempt from the California Environmental Quality Act pursuant to section 15061B3 of the CEQA guidelines because it can be seen with certainty that there is no possibility that the activity in question will have significant effect on the environment. With that note and correction in the record, that item may remain on consent. Thank you.
Very good. Let me start with my colleagues, starting with Supervisor Jacob, and see if you have any items to be pulled or comments you wish to make.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. None of either, and I would move approval of the consent agenda.
Okay, we'll move on to Supervisor Gaspar.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'll second the motion.
Okay, Supervisor Fletcher.
I have no items to pull.
Vice Chairman Jim Desmond.
No, Mr. Chair, I don't have any items to pull, but I do have a couple of comments. If I can make those now, is that all right?
Yes, go ahead.
On item 3, this is the Valley Center Hellhole Canyon Preserve acquisition of 78 acres of land. I want to thank the Department of Parks and Recreation for identifying this opportunity to add 76 acres to the county's 2,700 acre Hellhole Canyon Preserve in Valley Center. It's over a third of the cost to purchase the land. $225,000 is from a state grant to preserve deer and mountain lion habitat. The Hellhole Canyon Preserve includes over 13 miles of multi-use trails that offer scenic outlooks. I'm pleased that we were able to add to this county asset, and today's action sets a hearing to acquire that land at the October 14th hearing. So that's item 3. Item 4, this is 4G Park. Outdoor recreation is a very important component to the communities that we all serve in the unincorporated areas. Today's action would authorize the construction of a 2.5-acre park off 4G Road in the Del Sur Forest Ranch community. The Department of Parks and Recreation held public outreach meetings with the community to form a final design, which will include a dog park, playground, picnic area, and other recreational amenities. I'm looking forward to the ribbon cutting in the summer of 2021, and that's all the comments I have, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Vice Chair. I only have one comment. That's on item number 2. This is the Otay Valley Regional Park. It's an acquisition of 2.75 acres of land to be used ultimately for a staging area for the Otay Valley Regional Park. I just wanted to thank our park staff and also our real estate services for the great job they've done in helping to acquire this. This is going to be an integral part of what is really shaping up to be about a 13-mile linear park that will encompass some 8,000 acres when all the properties are acquired. And it's certainly an amenity that is very much needed and appreciated in South County. With that, we do have a motion from Supervisor Jacobs, seconded by Supervisor Gaspar, to approve the consent calendar. Would the clerk please identify those items we're going to be voting on?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It'll be all items on the Board of Supervisors agenda.
It was pretty easy. If there's no further discussion, would the clerk please call the roll?
Thank you. Chairman Cox?
Aye.
Supervisor Jacob?
Aye.
Supervisor Gaspar?
Aye.
Supervisor Fletcher?
Fletcher, aye.
Vice Chairman Desmond?
Aye.
Chairman Cox, the motion passes unanimously with all board members being present and voting aye.
Thank you very much. Our last item on the agenda is adjournments in memory, and I'll start with Supervisor Diane Jacob, who has 2 adjournments.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. First adjournment would be in memory of Kathy BRUYERE. She's a retired Navy captain and a trailblazer for women equality in the service. Kathy grew up in an Army family and joined the Navy in 1966 after graduating from Chestnut Hill College in Philadelphia. She also attended the Naval War College in Rhode Island. It was in 1976 she was featured on the cover of Time magazine for a Woman of the Year issue. At the time, she was a lieutenant commander, and before that, she had become a first woman tapped as a flag secretary and aide to an admiral. A year later, she and other female sailors helped clear the way for women to serve on ships and aircraft engaged in combat assignments that were previously barred to them under the Women's Armed Services Integration Act 1948. Kathy believed we should all have the same opportunities. It was in 1978, after a groundbreaking lawsuit, a judge determined that law was unconstitutional. Kathy went on to serve as a special assistant to the Chief of Naval Operations for Women's Policy. And a year later, she was the first female executive officer of the Navy's New York Recruiting District. In '91, as a captain with 25 years of service, Kathy took charge of the Navy's only boot camp that included women. Kathy retired in 1994 and was most proud of the work that she did to make a difference and open equal opportunities for all. She served on several community boards, including local chapters of the San Diego Parkinson's Association, San Diego Alzheimer's Association, George Glenner Center for Memory Care and Caregiver Support, and the San Diego chapter of the Military Officers Association of America. She also volunteered for 11 years at the Miramar National Cemetery. Kathy was preceded in death by her husband of 20 years, Thomas, who was also a retired captain. She is survived by her siblings, 3 stepchildren, 10 grandchildren, and we thank Kathy and her family for her service. She will be deeply missed. My last adjournment would be in memory of Kevin Powell, who did outstanding work in the human resources for the County of San Diego for a number of years. Kevin was a Bay Area born San Diego transplant who enjoyed the outdoors, bulldogs, cold beer, world traveler, and yes, llamas. Kevin passed away Tuesday, August 11th at the age of 38. He earned his bachelor's degree from California State University, Sonoma, and a master's degree from California State University, East Bay. He specialized in human resources and joined the county's labor relations team in September of 2012. It was in July of 2014, Kevin was promoted to serve as the Group Human Resources Director for the Land Use and Environment Group. In addition to his public service at the county, Kevin's HR career touched the communities of Contra Costa County, City of Coronado, and most recently, the City of Chula Vista, where he was a rising star in their organization. Everyone who had the pleasure of working with Kevin will remember his warm smile, keen sense of humor, and love of food. Kevin was an avid cyclist and a frequent participant in the annual AIDS Life Cycle event. He will be fondly remembered as a kind-hearted adventurer who never let a good time pass by. And in his honor, Kevin's friends and colleagues will be planting a tree and dedicating a memorial bench this fall at the county's Heritage Park. Kevin is survived by his parents, Diane and Randy Powell, his brother Kyle and sister-in-law Tori, his nephew Hezekiah, nieces Naraya and Dalila, and other relatives and friends. I want to thank Kevin for his work at the county and his dedication to human resources, and for his family for his service. He'll truly be missed too. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Supervisor. Vice Chairman Jim Desmond has one adjournment.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to adjourn our meeting today in memory of Ron Sisler. Ron actually tragically passed away in an accident on August 27th in Valley Center. Ron was a local graduate and a star outfielder at Escondido High. After graduating, he attended Palomar College to play baseball and received a scholarship from Brigham Young University to continue his baseball career, where he set numerous records. Ron was a coach and a mentor at Valley Center High, Mission Vista High, and recently at Classical Academy High School. His coaching led the team to a 29-5 record in 2019, taking the team to the Division II championship game. Ron also ran his own company, Marble Granite Designs, for 26 years. He is survived by his wife, Christine, children Clay and Sierra, brothers Dan and Tracy, a sister Debbie, and many cherished nieces and nephews. Ron's impacts on his students and his devotion to his family will always be remembered fondly. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor. And I would close today's meeting with one final adjournment, and that is in honor of Connie Puente Miller, a successful businesswoman whose popular Old Town restaurant became an important gathering spot for the Latino community. She passed away on August 29th at the age of 94. Mrs. Puente Miller grew up in Mexico and eventually moved with her family to San Diego, where she later married and raised her own family. In 1983, she opened a restaurant in Old Town called El Fandango. She offered the restaurant and its second floor event room to numerous Latino and Chicano organizations and schools for meetings and for fundraisers. Her generosity did not stop there, as she supported groups like Border Angels and the House of Mexico and worked with the Binational Arts Commission. She also flew on humanitarian missions to Mexico. Mrs. Puente Miller is survived by her children, Albert, Sylvia, Anna Maria, and Fernando. Connie Puente Miller was a beloved and tireless supporter of her community, and she'll be greatly missed. With that, we will conclude today's business meeting. We are going to meet in closed session to finish the balance of the closed session agenda. The next regular meeting of the Board of Supervisors will actually be a special meeting on Tuesday, September 22nd at 3 p.m. May I ask the clerk if there's any closing items he needs to cover?
There are not. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Very good. We will stand adjourned then to closed session. Any reportable items will be reported out by County Council after the closed session today. Meeting is adjourned.